Hello, thank you for joining us. This is Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I'm Ruth Aguele. Let's start by telling you that the Igbo socio-cultural organization Ohanaeze Ndigbo General Assembly Worldwide has pledged to mobilize support for the present administration in solidifying the agenda of one Nigeria under a federal system of government. President General of the organization, Basil Onyechunam Onura, says this while briefing the media on the leadership blueprints after obtaining a legitimate clearance to operate as an entity. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports.
The organization is committing itself to the Nigerian project, and this time it says the federal government deserves the cooperation of ethnic nationalities to build a strong, viral and united country. The organization further applauded the developmental strides of federal government in the southeast geopolitical zone of the country and advocates more in the spirit of national transformation.
This organization stands to speak the truth. We will stand to commend the federal government, and it is our interest that Ndigbo will be united.
Ohanaeze Ndigbo General Assembly Worldwide condemned the avoidable attacks on national assets and private investment and appreciates government efforts in containing the NSAS protest. The organization also presents a certificate of reinstatement by the Corporate Affairs Commission to operate as a legitimate body. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
Following the wanton destruction of public and private facilities in Calabar, some elders and stakeholders in Cross River State are engaged in the traditional stool, who has direct positive impact on youths within their domains. Led by immediate past governor of the state, Senator Lie Imoke, the group's submission is for youths to dialogue with the leaders to address perceived grievances. Paul Abel will tell us more.
Calabar South and Calabar Municipal Local Government areas make up the Calabar metropolis, where the height of destruction was carried out by hoodlums disguising as NSAS protesters. In view of the magnitude of destruction, the visit by these elders comprising a former military administrator, ambassador and National Assembly members, among others, to traditional rulers of Efok and Chorus is observed as the best possible way to reach the youth in their communities and seek advice on the way forward.
I know that the institutions that you have are critical when it comes to young people. The youth in the community still listen to you. So we must collectively address this so that those ones who are not on the street or who were not on the street last weekend or last week don't come onto the street.
The traditional rulers provide reasons for the cause and possible solutions to the problem.
And I'm so unhappy that the peace and calm that we used to have here is taken away. Why? Because we have failed. And who have failed? The politicians have failed. So please, my advice is that let the administration have everything and then work with everybody.
The children are angry. The children are hungry.
Many of the youth say that there is no job for them to do. They are abandoned. They are not taken into consideration.
The team maintains that dialogue is the only way out to resolve perceived failures of the political class, rather than the youth resulting to carrying arms and destroying critical government and personal infrastructures. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
And in Uyo, a statesman and former governor of Akwa Ibom State, Obong Victor Atta, says the sad incidents that bedeviled the country in the guise of NSAS hoodlum protests that resulted in the destruction, looting and killings is not really religious nor ethnic rivalry, but a wake-up call for government at all levels to do something positive for the rapid socio-economic development of the country. And Sikak Okon reports that the statesman stated this while addressing journalists on Uyo.
O God of creation, direct our noble cause. Guide our leaders right, help our youth the truth to know, in love and honesty to grow, and living just and true, great lofty heights attain. to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign.
Former governor of Akwa Ibom State, Obon Victor Ta, who reacted in condemnation of the rather sad development where NSAS protest was hijacked by hoodlums to destroy, loot and kill people in parts of the country and the state. While joining in apologizing to the youths, Obon expressed the hope that the nation would be healed for socio-economic development of the nation and appealed to the youths to rally around the government to build a united and peaceful nation. The former governor urged governments at all levels to do something now before it is too late.
I want, therefore, to appeal to our youth to eschew bitterness and to show further commitment to the peace process by halting all further protests so they will not be accused of participating in the destruction of their own future.
A minute silence was observed in honor of those that lost their lives in the course of the 3 weeks NSAS protests. In Uyo, Nsika Okon, NTA News.
Taraba State Government has inaugurated a 13-man task force committee on recovery of looted items. Well, Joseph Otson reports that the committee is to ensure affected public and private facilities recover goods and funds stolen by irate youths.
After asking persons in possession of looted items to return them to security agencies or traditional and religious leaders in their areas, the Taraba State Government has gone ahead to set up a task force committee on recovery of looted items. Terms of reference of the assignment handed over to the committee include identifying persons or groups who aid removal of public and private property, ascertaining all government agencies affected by looting, recovery of looted public property or funds from persons who either stole or received through purchase, among others.
Government has decided to set up this task force committee, which I hereby constitute on behalf of the Executive Governor, Architect Darius Dixon Ishaku, to recover all looted items from public and private offices.
The members inaugurated include retired Lieutenant Colonel Nashuka Tukura as chairman. The committee is expected to report back to the state government within 14 days. In Jalingo, Joseph Sound Otsen, NTA News.
The Benue State Government has debunked reports on some media that COVID-19 palliative items meant to be given to the poor of the poorest people were sold to traders in Kano State. Well, Commissioner for Information, Culture and Tourism, Ngunam Adingi, says it is a part of the issues resolved by the State Executive Council. Let's get more details from Chasaba.
The Commissioner for Information, Culture and Tourism, Ngunam Adingi, said the palliative items in question were those given to indigent traders at the Woruku market to cushion the effects of the pandemic on them, which were allegedly sold by the market chairman.
It's a matter that when the COVID distribution were given, the committee had met and decided that some of the market people and traders that were also affected from not being able to open their stores for a long time should be beneficiaries of these materials. And so the market association was invited when they were sharing palliatives, and some palliatives were also shared to them.
So somehow some of them sold these palliatives instead of using them, and according to them they needed the money that time more than the palliatives. Investigation is still ongoing.
The Commissioner further said that ESCO has observed the necessary protocol and resolved to auction unclaimed cows impounded by the Benue State Livestock Guard. She also disclosed that in partnership with the federal government, the state government will construct a number of housing units to address housing deficit. The Commissioner further disclosed that close to 200 million naira has been approved for installation of traffic lights in Makudi, the Benue State capital. In Makudi, Charles Abba, NTA News.
Well, the federal government has restated its commitment in protecting the media and its practitioners in the country. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed stated this in Lagos when he paid a solidarity visit to the management of Vintage Press publishers of the Nation newspaper. Anthony Forson will tell us more.
Newspaper headquarters was attacked on the 21st of October by hoodlums who hijacked the peaceful protest calling for an end to police brutality, tagged EndSARS. In the attack, parts of the building was burned, vehicles destroyed, and properties looted. The minister, accompanied by the Director General Radio Nigeria, Managing Director, News Agency of Nigeria, Executive Secretary, Nigeria Press Council, Registrar of APCON, and the Acting Director General, NBC. They were conducted round the premises where they assessed the level of damage. Expressing displeasure over the incident, Lai Mohammed said it is condemnable that with no provocation, the media, which is a pivot upon which democracy thrives, will be attacked.
The fact that within a few days you're able to return to the stand, I think is a big blow to the naysayers who thought they could put out the light of press freedom. We believe that the attack on the nation is not just an attack on the vintage press. It's an attack on the free press. It's an attack on democracy. Because there cannot be any virile, robust democracy without a free media. Therefore, an attack on nation or any media whatsoever is a direct attack on freedom of speech and also on democracy.
Assuring that government will continue to support responsible journalism, it will not fold its arms and condone the promotion of fake news and hate speech. Hence, the need for a mechanism that will regulate the social media, which has become a potent tool.
Social media is here to stay. And it's going to be an antithesis to democracy for anybody to even attempt to shut down the social media. However, we must regulate the social media in a manner that does not become a purveyor of fake news and hate speech.
While government, the minister said, is looking into the demands of the EndSARS protesters, some have already been met. He therefore called for restraints. Chairman of Vintage Press, Olawale Edun, expressed gratitude, describing the minister and his entourage's visit as encouraging. He, however, said, despite the destruction and loss of property, no casualty was recorded. In Lagos, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
A look at security. Officers and men of the Nigeria Police Force FCT Command have been applauded for exhibiting maximum restraint during the NSAS protest. Francis Pham reports that the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, gave the commendation when he visited the FCT Command.
This is the first visit of the IGP to the FCT Command after the protest.
The aim was to demoralize you.
Besides the word of caution, he encouraged them to remain resolute in the discharge of their duties. The police chief, who recalled the mayhem meted on vehicles, property and destruction of public and private facilities, said it was a phase that should be put behind and lessons learned, even as the officers in the command, despite the provocation, acted professionally.
Those officers that lost their lives all over the country, they will not die in vain because adequate compensation has been planned for them in an extensive manner to show that they serve their country to the extent of losing their lives.
He gave the assurance of the federal government's commitment to reform the force to address contemporary challenges facing it.
So all our barracks will be taken care of. All our logistic requirements in terms of vehicles, in terms of countrymen, in terms of medicals, all segments of what is required of police officers to have for them to perform their duties.
Meanwhile, 53 suspects are in police custody for alleged looting and vandalism at the Kubwa NYC orientation camp. The Inspector General of Police said the suspects will be prosecuted. In Abuja, Francis from NTA News.
Well, Ibadan is our first stop on Nationwide, and let's join Larry Dewu. He's going to guide us on the next set of reports. Larry.
Thank you, Ruth, and welcome to Ibadan. The Nigerian Army has reiterated its commitment to synergize with the Nigerian police and other security agencies to maintain law and order in the society. General Officer Commanding 2nd Division Nigerian Army, Major General Anthony Omozoje, made this pledge during his visit to Oyo State Police Command. Rofia Animashal Badmus has the details.
The recently hijacked NSAS protest led to loss of lives and property, which the nation is still reeling from. To consolidate on the relative peace currently enjoyed in Oyo State, the General Officer Commanding 2 Division, Major General Anthony Omozoje, visited Oyo State Commissioner of Police Nwachukwu Enwowo to dilate ideas on security matters.
I came to talk to the men, encourage them as we return back to our lawful duties, and also to sound a note of warning to all the miscreants and criminals who think they can occupy society, that it will never happen. We will not surrender society to criminals.
We are going to come out and do our work as provided for in the Constitution, and the military is there to work with us and give us cover.
They urged people to report any suspicious move within their neighborhood to the police to ensure a crime-free environment. In Ibadan, Rofia and Mashan Badmos, NTA News.
Political stalwarts in Osun State have advised Governor Aguele to optimally harness areas of education, social enlightenment and agriculture as part of measures to positively engage teeming youths. This was during a solidarity visit to the Osun State Governor following the return of peace to the state. Joshua Ugunjide reports.
The visit was that of sympathy over the October 17th onslaught on the Osun State Governor Aguele by some hoodlums during the popular NSAS remonstrance staged in the state capital Osogbo, coupled with the recent looting of both government and private properties across the state. The delegation led by the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Chief Bisi Akode, condemned the gruesome act.
In what that happened, you see that a lot was wrong with our education. And we want to suggest that the state efforts must be more intensified in the areas of agriculture to solve the problem of hunger.
Governor Utola, while narrating the ordeal of the massive looting, explained that state governors had no power nor authorization from COVID, which donated both food items and medical equipment nationwide to distribute the palliatives.
There must be a distinction between the palliative of the federal government and the COVID. They are not the same. Palliative of federal government through the Ministry of Humanitarian Services was brought and distributed almost immediately.
Notable personalities in the state and the state cabinet members, as well as the Speaker of the House of Assembly of Osun State, Timothy Weah, were all at the solidarity visit. In Osogbo, Joshua Agujide, NTA News.
You are still watching Nationwide on the NTA. More reports with Dotson Oguyemi in our Lagos Center. That is after this break. Stay with us.
A scorecard like no other. Government has put in place measures and initiatives principally targeted at youths, women, and the most vulnerable groups in our society. These included broad plan to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in the next 10 years, the creation of 75 billion naira National Youth Investment Fund to provide opportunities for the youths, and the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Survivor Fund, through which government is A. paying 3-month salaries of the staff of 100,000 micro, small and medium enterprises. B. Paying for the registration of 250,000 businesses at the Corporate Affairs Commission. C. Giving a grant of 30,000 naira to 100,000 artisans and guaranteeing market market for the product of traders. These are in addition to many other initiatives such as farmer money, trader money, market money, N-Power, N-Tech, and N-Agro. These and more in spite of a recession and a global pandemic.
Do you desire to upscale your skills and capacities for better productivity? Then you need to attend the following courses organized by NTA TV College, JOS, Protocol Event Management and Public Relations. Date 2nd to 13th November 2020. Intermediate Camera Operation Techniques. Date 2nd to 13th November 2020. Intermediate Online News Reporting Skills. Date 16th to 27th November 2020. The course fee for the 4-week course is 100,000 naira per participant, while the fee for other courses is 80,000 naira only. Accommodation inclusive. Venue for all courses is the serene and secure environment of NTA Television College, near Old Government House, Rayfield, Jos. For more inquiries, please call 0803-314-4383 or 0806-980-9807. NTA TV College, Jos, training you to be the best you want to be.
Mr. President said the youth of this country have spoken, and he has heard, and he has since gone to work for the youth of our country, not just as a president, but even as a father of the younger generation.
The real Nigerian youth is a patriot, not a tool of destabilization.
Mr. President made an appeal to the Nigerian youth that this protest, wherever held, should be done in a peaceful manner. The Nigerian youth should be on their guard to make sure that elements that will infiltrate and distract them from the very purpose of their protest should be prevented from doing so.
Listen to the voice of reason.
That social media is not good or bad, and that it is you who is using it that is either good or bad. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, verify the information, and reflect before sharing it. Now, are you a good social media user? Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source for a better Nigeria.
This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
This is still nationwide. Let's now bring you stories making the rounds in Lagos. The Center of Excellence, Lagos, is gradually taking shape following the loss of lives and wanton destruction of property witnessed in the state, sequel to the NSAS protest. Moving around the city earlier, Awal Yusuf Chibo captured pedestrians who were stranded at the roadsides, while others resorted to trekking as the buses are no longer a common feature on the road.
Lagos, the commercial nerve center of Nigeria, witnessed several days of chaos and destruction as a result of activities of hoodlums and miscreants who hijacked the protest of youths calling for an end to police brutality. Victims who suffered untold losses are already taking stock to enable them to re-strategize and start all over again.
Everybody, activities go on normal. Every person gone now, their normal business. So, no wahala.
However, the major complaint of residents is that of navigation to and fro different locations in the state, a development premised on the destruction of buses meant for public transportation by suspected hoodlums in some places in the course of the crisis.
Now, even transportation is added. Before you get to Opalande, they will say 200 naira. You go to Oshodi now, they will say like 500 naira or to 300 naira. So that is the reason why the traffic is. But we are still managing it.
Many people don't like to come inside Lagos again because of the situation of traffic.
To ensure lasting peace, this trust has to be rebuilt. Now, the youth have tabled their demands before government. These have been acknowledged. SARS have been banned, and the government government have promised to look closely into what the young people are asking for.
It is expected that peace and tranquility being experienced will be sustained with the hope that government will bring back the security operatives to boost the safety of the masses. In Lagos, Aguele Jibo, NTA News.
Initiating developmental plans and strategic engagements of oil and gas industry players with key policy makers on the sustainable growth of the oil sector will further boost operations of the nation's major source of revenue. This was the crux of discussion at a book launch by the Center for Petroleum Information and the celebration of its 20th anniversary in Lagos. Abalade Salami reports.
With an oil benchmark price of $28 per barrel and a production volume of 2.18 million barrels per day, the country can no longer boast of times when oil price was a boom. This, however, has not deterred the federal government from its developmental agenda for the country. While policies are being initiated by the government, a non-governmental professional body, Center for Petroleum Information, over the last 20 years has been creating value through knowledge and network on providing timely solutions to challenges confronting the oil industry.
As one of the country's busiest oil and gas or energy think tanks, the Center for Petroleum Information is typically host to more than 22 lectures each year, courtesy of the book we now have.
In the last 2 decades of engaging in a robust discourse aimed at sustaining performance, the Center for Petroleum Information launched a book titled Energy Insights Nigeria, Evolutionary 2 Decades in Retrospect.
And it covered a wide array of topics, from the upstream to gas, to energy future, low carbon, transparency, extractive industry, and all that.
The 30 chapters book, arranged into 7 thematic segments, critically analyzed the global perspective of oil and gas, energy policy and legal structure, gas and power, the downstream sector, energy finance, and low carbon future. In Lagos, Abalade Salami, NTA News.
The federal government is activating environmentally friendly mechanisms aimed at enhancing healthy living among Nigerians. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals Adejoke Orilope Adefulire, while at a women's conference in Lagos, says this is imperative to guard against the possibility of a second wave of COVID-19, presently threatening livelihood across the globe. Michael Olale reports.
With more than 1.3 million coronavirus deaths already recorded globally, this Women's Conference is drawing similarity between the environment and the emergence of COVID-19, concluding that winning the fight is rooted in achieving the Sustainable Development Goal 11 to 13.
Good health and well-being, for us to be more careful about our environment, to be more careful about our personal hygiene, wash your hand regularly, eat a healthy food.
You can add exercise to it if you have not been doing exercise. Make sure that you stay early morning sun. Vitamin D is good. Eat fruits, a lot of fruits for the vitamin C and other nutrients, B complex and all that.
The forum did not just recognize frontline health workers for their contributions to the war against coronavirus, but a straight proactiveness of states in nipping the virus in the bud.
It's not that our numbers are increasing in Lagos, it's that we are searching all over the state. In every local government, we are looking for the mark of this virus so that we can know how to develop our risk communication.
The conference focuses on staying alive through physical, spiritual, and emotional supports.
The COVID palliatives we are distributing now is to everybody, whether poor or whoever they may be. So it is when we are able to meet the people, our people, at the point of their need, that we are able to then get the best out of them.
The virtual conference was joined by the wives of Kebbi and Nasarawa state governors, while the Minister of Women Affairs registered her presence through video conferencing. In Lagos, Michael Olale, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Lagos. It's back to Ruth in Abuja for more reports.
Thank you very much, Datun. In line with the determination to strengthen economic activities in the state through infrastructural development, talking about Imo State, well, the state governor, Hope Uzodinma, has assured timely completion of Awo Omana Road Rehabilitation Project. Bright Bochuo reports that the governor gave the assurance at the flagging off ceremony.
Okudo Road in Oru East local government area of Imo State is one of the major roads in the state and has been in a very deplorable condition, crippling economic activities in the area. Governor Hope Uzodinma, while flagging off the Awo Mama to Okudo Road construction, stressed that the state government is committed to rehabilitating the road to ease the burden of the transportation of goods from the rural area. He further states that the state government has provided all that is required to ensure that the road is completed in record time.
Onitsha Owerri Road, which was constructed a few years ago by Julius Berger on behalf of federal government, that spot has become very bad. We are trying to intervene, given that the Christmas season is at hand, so that to reduce the stress that the passengers that will use the road during this period will suffer. And that is just what we have done. So I've gone there personally to inspect the extent of work done and what is outstanding to ensure that within record time the road will be completed.
In Owerri, Bright Ebuchu, NTA News.
Still on roads, but this time around on safety, as part of efforts towards making the highways safer and eradicating all incidences of road traffic crashes and its attendant fatalities, the Court-Martial Federal Road Safety Corps, Dr. Boboye Oyemi, has urged administrators of local governments in the country to relocate markets from the highways, noting that this will help the existing operational efforts of the FRSC towards enhancing the safety of the entire motoring population. The Court-Martial made this call while decrying the recent road traffic crash caused by brake failure and loss of control that claimed multiple lives at the Ibaka area of Akungba, Akuku Southwest local government area of Ondo State on Saturday evening. While commiserating with families of the victims, the Court-Martial expresses concerns over the rising statistics of innocent citizens, who have lost their lives as a result of building markets close to the highways, and has since initiated impact-oriented operational strategies to curb the menace, as he calls on government at the grassroots to relocate those markets. Well, the Department of State Security, DSS, Bayelsa State Command, has paraded suspects, 4 of them allegedly involved in a threat to kidnap the chairman, Yenagua Local Government Area Council. We hear that among the suspects is an ICT professional. Ebi Nimi Zitimiyola has details.
The suspect, Philip Anayo Godwin, 38 years from Abia State, is an ICT practitioner. Kingsley Jeremiah Amos, 43, who claims to be a clergyman, and Nsinkam Umos Sunday, 35, both from Akwa Ibom State, as well as 37-year-old spiritualist Tari Erige from Bayelsa State. They were paraded for sending text messages of threats to kidnap the Yenagua Local Government Council chairman and members of his family, few weeks after his mother gained her freedom from the hands of kidnappers.
Godwin was hired by one of the security agencies in the state to carry out tracking services during the kidnap of the victim's mother earlier this year. However, the subject, in connivance with the syndicate, took advantage of his relationship with the victim and fraudulently initiated life-threatening calls, including threats of kidnap. Kingsley Jeremiah Amos collaborated with his mistress or wife and threatened to kidnap the victim. Findings further show that the threat was aimed at compelling their victim to contract them for prayers in exchange for money.
The council chairman, who commended the DSS for the positive result achieved in the shortest possible time, recounts his emotional trauma.
I started to receive open text messages and also hidden numbers calling me. So I now went back to the police
and the DSS. And the DSS swing into action.
The suspects tell their own side of the story.
So he hit the number, he called the man picked. He started telling the man, Chairman, the people that helped you to secure the release of your mother, why you don't want to pay us? We are coming, I will come to your house, anything I see, I will take.
I have to send him a text that you will be kidnapped so that he should know that the pastor is praying, so that he will return me my money.
Honorable Chairman, please, I ask you for forgiveness.
The Department of State Security has reassured residents of Bayelsa State of the command's effort in curbing crime in the state alongside other security agencies. In Yenagua, Ebinimi Zitimiola, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has sent a message of goodwill to Mrs. Charity Shekari, a stalwart of the All Progressives Congress and wife of Stephen Shekari, former Deputy Governor of Kaduna State, as she turns 60. Well, the president rejoices with the journalist, public administrator and technocrat who has served variously as senior special assistant to a former Kaduna State governor on NGOs and commissioner for health, contributing greatly to the development of the state. President Buhari wishes Mrs. Shekari good health, sound mind and greater service to Nigeria and humanity. Maiduguri is our next stop, and we join Mohammed to bring us the latest stories from that end. Mohammed.
Thank you, Ruth. Welcome to Maiduguri. Borno State government has approved scholarship for children and orphans of civilian JTF and vigilante engaged or killed in the battle against insurgency in the state. Governor Babagana Umara Zulum, who also disclosed this, announced a welfare package of 50,000 naira each and food assistance to widows of slain vigilantes at the Borno State University on the outskirts of Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. Jedwa John Justin reports.
The Borno State government also announced a cash assistance of 20,000 naira each, as well as a bag of rice, spaghetti and cooking oil to the 9,000 volunteers outside their monthly allowances. Governor Babagana Umar Zulum says the emergence of civilian JTF and other vigilantes is a miracle for the state, all of whom have devoted their lives to fearlessly and patriotically fight in support of the country's armed forces to liberate Borno from insurgency. Professor Zulum maintained that nothing can compensate them for their sacrifices, especially those killed, all of whom he noted Borno State is proud of them. The gesture, he stressed, is to assist orphan children and widows left behind by fallen civilian JTFs and hunters who have been struggling to feed themselves amidst challenges of getting health care and secondary education. The award of scholarship will be done in phases, starting with the youngest and most vulnerable families of the earliest fallen volunteers down to those recently lost in battle. The state government also disclosed that it will constitute a multi-stakeholders committee which will evaluate vulnerabilities of the families and come up with list of children to benefit, recommended schools and sustainable structures for the scholarships. In Maiduguri, Jadwa John Jesney, NJ News.
On to education, academic activities have picked up in earnest in most public and private schools in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, following directive by government to reopen, considering the significant progress made against coronavirus pandemic across the country. All the COVID-19 measures are strictly being adhered to in the schools to ensure there is no resurgence of the disease that has caused global setback in all spheres of human endeavor. Abubakar Mohamed Musa reports.
Students here in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, are back with reinvigorated zeal, obviously, towards closing the wide gap created in the education sector by the coronavirus pandemic.
I'm very excited that schools has resumed, and I'm happy that our teachers have already started teaching us new subjects.
I'm glad that school has resumed because we have been at home for a while, sitting idly with nothing to do.
Many students have not been studying well at home. We are happy that the government has come to our aid.
We are very excited that we have resumed to school, and we are very prepared for school.
When we went home, there's nothing to do at home, just staying lonely.
The students, especially their students, have resumed fully, and the boarding students are resuming gradually. We hope by next week we shall have a full resumption for both the boarding and the day students.
Immediately government says school should reopen. All of them are trooping into schools now. We are happy the school has reopened.
Within the period of the shutdown of schools, His Excellency has been so proactive in approaching the issues that really affect education. He has mandated us to holistically look at issues of infrastructural development.
We are certainly sure that a new beginning will set in.
It is the hope and prayer of students and stakeholders in the education sector that Nigeria does not experience coronavirus pandemic or any other disaster in future for academic activities to continue to thrive. In Maiduguri, Abubakar Mohammed Musa, NTA News.
Those are the stories on Nationwide from Maiduguri. Ruth is back to you in Abuja.
Thank you, Mohammed. Though a petroleum economy, Nigeria is yet to leverage on the opportunities in the petrochemical industry, which records an annual sale of $150 billion. Agencies under the Ministry of Commerce have now mapped out plans to explore the oil and gas export. Well, this came to the fore when the ministry appeared before the House Committee on Commerce for Budget Defense. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali will tell us more.
In what it calls the Zero Oil Plan, the Ministry of Commerce, through the Nigeria Export Promotion Council, has created a new market. The petrochemical industry, of which the upcoming Dangote refinery is a point of reference, will be another game changer for Nigeria. That is in addition to others that will expectedly fetch for the country more foreign exchange in the export of more commodities.
Able to track the process in cashew in different states, sesame in different states. Petrochemicals, for example, with the refinery coming up.
Chairman of the House Committee on Commerce, while commending the ministry on its budget performance, called for additional strategy to make Nigeria a key player in global trade.
Our ministry is the one saddled with the responsibility of delivering AfCFTA, African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, and ensure that it gains some traction. If we don't gain some traction, this country with such a huge population and a highly cosmopolitan style of living for those who have the purchasing power, what we end up is that we will end up being a dumping ground.
The committee at its session with Oil and Gas Export Free Zone says it is not satisfied with the explanation of the authority concerning notice breaches of the Fiscal Responsibility Act in the 2020 budget performance. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Well, towards engaging youths and rural women in a meaningful development, the federal government, through Family Livelihood Improvement Enterprise for Niger Delta, has organized a week-long agribusiness development orientation training in Abia State. Chinyere Okwoli reports that the training was basically to build capacity for rural youths, women who head households, and persons living with disabilities in different agro-commodity enterprises and farming.
The Agribusiness Development Orientation Training covered a wide range of areas, including cash management and agricultural entrepreneurship. The State Project Coordinator of Life MD, Dr. Uchenna Onyizu, said the project, which is jointly funded by the federal government, Niger Delta Development Commission, and the International Fund for Agricultural Development, is geared towards empowering youths.
The whole essence is for us to look at what we've been taught for the past 1 week. At the end of the day, they will now graduate to be established, to start their own agro-entrepreneurship, depending the agro-commodity they choose.
The Agribusiness Promotion Coordinator for Life ND, Mrs. Antonia Esenwa, described agriculture as a sure means of survival for Nigeria following the decline in revenue from crude oil.
Agriculture is about food. Food security is very, very important.
Go back to agriculture. That is the sure way of reviving our GDP.
Some of the participants appreciated both the state and federal governments for the initiative and promised that such gesture will improve their living standard. In Umuaha Chinyere Okoli, NTA News.
Sustaining truthful and effective communication among various agencies of government and the citizens must be adhered to by leaders at all levels in order to gain citizen support and confidence. Well, this is part of the highlights of the 6th Nigerian Prize for Leadership Dialogue Series. Haman Jabani has more.
The 6th dialogue series of the Nigerian Prize for Leadership, which focuses on trust, accountability and sacrifice, brings to the front burner 31 highlights with effective leadership, starting with accountability, with premium on honesty as the watchword for accountability. Stakeholders say the lack of trust, accountability and sacrifice are generally lacking in Nigerian political leadership, and that is why the country is not able to navigate the stairs of leadership to the top.
Lack of transparency in governance has further eliminated trust, made worse by the obvious disparity between lifestyles of elected leaders and the poverty that the followers must endure.
And leaders should be willing to take responsibility for the outcome of their actions and inactions. Leadership in trust, accountability, and sacrifice are important dimensions that we cannot look away from if we must rethink leadership in Nigeria.
Themselves, they need the trust of the people. They need people to trust them. So how do you get that trust? Even if that's the only thing I say, how do you get the people's trust? Or if something happened, as we had this NSAS problem, and you've lost the trust of the people, how do you rebuild trust?
I really think nobody has an answer, but together we can have answer. How can we come together? We need to have deliberate conversation.
We now have a responsibility to engage, to collaborate, and make sure that those who are charged with the responsibility and the mandate to protect the lives and citizens carry out this responsibility diligently.
There is this connection between the old and the young people, which resulted in trust issue, leading to the recent crisis in the country. Hence, conversation must be restored for better leadership worthy of emulation, the 6th dialogue series believed. Haman Jabani, NTA News.
Let's now take our last break. We're back shortly, so you stay tuned.
My name is Nando Jamda Muhammad.
Stedita
Hussein Musa. Roduna Joel Finji. Said Musa John. I'm a carpenter. I've been doing this for more than 8 years now.
And I said that plantain. Nakai Kimami Shekara Uku. I've been selling my tomatoes for about 10 years now, and I do it for a better Nigeria.
And I do it for a better Nigeria.
And you can see we're doing our small little work to make Nigeria great.
As you can see, I'm a technician, and I'm doing it to help myself and to help my generation.
Business.
For a better Nigeria.
This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
Do you know that social media is not good or bad, and that it is you who is using it that is either good or bad? Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, verify the information, and reflect before sharing it. Now, are you a good social media user? Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source for a better Nigeria.
This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview UK channel 264, or you can download www.visiontv.co.uk. App for iOS or Android, Intelsat 901 degree east. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable, fake news is dangerous. Whether you do it for fun or for political gains, real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
Thank you for staying with us. Nigerians in Benin, Edo State, insist that freedom of expression and the right to free exchange of ideas and opinions is an important and fundamental concession. However, if this right is unregulated, it can, like fake news, also have harmful consequences on the public space. Ogochukwuka Ona reports on the impact of fake news on national development against the backdrop of the recent NSAS protests and the impact.
The entertainment industry and crisis situations are fertile grounds for potential havoc, taking the recent NSAS protest as an example.
If there are litigations of people who bring out fake news, you see that this thing will be in decrease.
So look at the very issue of looting of palliatives. It happened in Lagos. There was looting of palliatives in Lagos, and we all saw it on social media. But you can see the aftermath effect. Every other state was looking for palliative.
Damaged property, they say, are evident setbacks to national development.
How to nip this fake news in the bud to ensure that it does not destroy our national cohesion.
Of course, to meet certain needs of the citizens. The budget itself will have to be reviewed. A lot of areas need to now be rejigged. Little that was expected to be spent on such areas, you will now need to go bend backward to intensify and of course channel more resources from other areas to be able to meet with these, because a lot of damage have been done to our infrastructures.
The open nature of the internet, social media, they say, should be maximized positively and not abused. In Benin, Ogochukwuka Ona.
Ogochukwuka Ona there from Benin. Let's talk agri. Ginger farmers in Benue State have been assured of support from their association at the national level to boost their produce. National president of the association stated this during his visit to Governor Samuel Otom in Makurdi. Charles Abba reports that he was received by the chief of staff to the governor.
The president, National Association of Ginger Farmers, Nuhu Daudu, said ginger has various potentials capable of turning around the fortunes of the nation. He indicated that he is in the state to train ginger farmers on how best they can improve their yields. The president gave assurances of friendly loan facilities available that can easily be accessed by ginger farmers.
Our ginger is rated the best in terms of quality in the whole world, yet poorly priced. You have 2,000 farmers already on ground. And why they are here on ground is you want to also bring them together so that you can lift their standard of living and also to change them to translate the stage of poverty to prosperity.
Chief of Staff to the Governor, Tewase Obunde, expressed satisfaction with the hope given ginger farmers in the state and noted that Benue State has earmarked thousands of hectares of land for ginger farming. He harped on the determination of the state ginger farmers to aggressively cultivate ginger if given the necessary push.
We are glad to let you know that you have come at the right time. You get the cooperation that government needs to give you. You get the cooperation from the farmers. You get the cooperation from the communities. We appeal, therefore, that you should not hesitate in every way possible to help us to actualize the dream of these farmers.
He maintained that Benue soil is suitable for a number of crops. In Makurdi, Charles Abba, NTA News.
And on that productive note, we say we are done with Nationwide for today. Thank you very much for your company. I'm Ruth Aguele. Bye.